Our selection will be Balm in Gilead. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. Sometimes I feel discouraged and think my work's in vain, but then the Holy Spirit revives my soul again. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. Don't ever feel discouraged, for Yahshua is your friend. And if you lack for knowledge, he'll never refuse to lend. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. If you cannot preach like Peter, if you cannot pray like Paul, you can tell the love of Yahshua and say he died for all. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. To heal the sin-sick soul.
The oracles of the NCI. The oracles of the UCI. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua HaMashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you're sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as dear children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth, therefore let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame, and have sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. As it is written, and when the people saw that Moshe delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron, and said unto him, Up, make us gods which shall go before us. For as this Moshe, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we know not what is become of him. And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people brake off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graving tool, after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought you up out of the land of Egypt. The title of today's sermon is Idols of the Heart, and we're going to begin at Ezekiel chapter 14. Idols of the heart. As we see, the children of Israel were coming out of Egypt, but in their heart was still an idol of Egypt, to the point where they needed to have that idol close to them, because this is something that they have gotten accustomed to. We all have a past life. We all have a past worship life. We all have things that at some point we have to put in subjection. Even though the children of Israel have witnessed all of the things that have taken place concerning Yahweh dealing with the Egyptians, here we go, and now we place the defeated idol right in the midst of us. And we've seen all of the things that Yahweh have done to this God. So how could this false god be the reason why we have been delivered from Egypt. Why would an Egyptian god deliver you from Egypt? An Egyptian god is going to want you to stay in Egypt. So even though the story doesn't even match. And that's what happened when there's an idol somewhere stuck off in our heart. It's not going to even make sense. No manner of way of explaining it is going to make sense. No manner of how you deal with it is going to make sense. And whether we acknowledge it or not, it is some things that have to be dealt with. And you can see how Yahweh eventually ended up dealing with this is after giving the children of Israel some time to deal with this idol in their heart, eventually he cut them off. Eventually he had to cut them off and just bring forth the children because this idol was something that they just could not get out of their heart. Ezekiel chapter 14, and let's start that at verse 1.
Then came certain of the elders of Israel unto me, and sat before me. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, these men have set up their idols in their heart, and put the stumbling block of their lawlessness before their face. Should I be inquired of at all by them?
Right. Yahweh said, I'm not even going to entertain questions by people who have idols set up in their heart. An idol set up in your heart is something different than an idol set up in your face. See, we will call out the idols that are before our faces or that are before other people's faces. But when something is set up in your heart, it is not necessarily seen like that. You have to see it spiritually, not see it physically. That means you have to go and deal with some of the actions that we perform and see if there's something stuck off in there. Go ahead.
Therefore speak unto them, and say unto them, Thus says the Adonai Yah, every man of the house of Israel that sets up his idols in his heart, and puts the stumbling block of his lawlessness before his face, and comes to the prophet, I, Yahweh, will answer him that comes according to the multitude of his idols.
You have to understand how deep this is. Therefore speak unto them and say unto them, Thus says the Adonai Elohim, every man of the house of Israel that sets up the idol in his heart and puts the stumbling block of his lawlessness before his face, and then he comes to the prophet, okay, to inquire of him about me. He says, I'm going to answer him. I will answer him, but I'm going to answer him according to the idols that are in his heart. So in other words, he going to see exactly what he's looking for, and he going to get dealt with according to the things that he has been dealing with. I don't think we understand how deep that is. So a whole lot of things, we entertain a whole lot of things. When we get ready to seek our answers, that's what our answer is going to have, a whole lot of things in it. Why? Because that's what you keep dealing with, a whole lot of things. Go ahead.
Verse 5, that I may take the house of Israel in their own heart, because they are all estranged from me through their idols.
Right. Physically, they were standing before Yahweh. Physically, they came to keep the Sabbath. Physically, they kept all the holy days. But something was still off in their heart for another idol. Yahweh will not be mocked and he will not be fooled. You can come and stand before Yahweh with all the right outfits on, with all the right everything on. But he know when something off in your craw. And we can say whatever we want to say. Oh, I ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. I'm not look. Yahweh know exactly what's in there. He know by our actions. Never mind what we say. Because see, a lie don't care who tell it. A lie go home with anybody. But those actions are what's going to testify against us. Go ahead.
Verse 6, Therefore say unto the house of Israel, Thus says the Adonai Yah, Repent and turn yourselves from your idols, and turn away your faces from all your abominations.
Right. Consider the children of Israel grew up being oppressed by the idols of Egypt. Then we got to the point that we just want to see the idol. Now, anything happened to us good, we still want to attribute it unto that idol. You mean the same one that was mistreating you before? Now all of a sudden he's doing good to you? Now the good things that happen to you are because of the idol? Go ahead.
For every one of the house of Israel, or of the stranger that sojourns in Israel, which separates himself from me.
Now, and we don't understand that when we cleave unto an idol, we are separating ourselves from Yahweh. So Yahweh says you can't serve me and serve Mammon. One of us gonna have to lose. So you can't serve light and darkness. Because see, they're two opposites. So you can deal with two things as long as they're in the same area. But Yahweh over here, the idol over there. Now you find a way to be in both of those places at the same time, and I tell you, you done figured out some physics that Yahweh ain't gave us yet. Go ahead.
And sets up his idols in his heart, and puts the stumbling block of his lawlessness before his face, and comes to a prophet to inquire of him concerning me, I, Yahweh, will answer him by myself.
I'm going to answer him. Step out the way, prophet. I know I normally do dreams and move. I got this. They're going to come before me and still have an idol? They're going to talk that talk? No. I got this. And it's amazing that people can't figure out how they keep getting pulled further and further away from Yahweh's word because of the multitude of the idols that's in their heart. Every time they seek an answer, Yahweh let one of the idols answer. So no, I got this. Go ahead.
And I will set my face against that man, and will make him a sign and a proverb, and I'll cut him off from the midst of my people.
I will cut him off from the midst of my people. Yet what they think is they have separated themselves. They think that they decided. He said, you had already separated yourself from him by doing the idol. He then separates you physically, but at that point, now they think they made a decision. No, he made one for you. Because you made one in your heart, he made the other one. You moved and he moved. You moved and he moved. This is the tango. It's a dance. You're going to dance with Yahweh. But you're going to have to do something. He going to make a move and that's your turn. Go ahead.
And you shall know that I am Yahweh. Verse 9. And if the prophet be deceived when he has spoken a thing, I, Yahweh, have deceived that prophet.
Remember the prophet who was deceived by another prophet?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how did he get deceived by another prophet? He had some kind of respect of persons inside of his own heart that he would let somebody else come and say to him something different than what Yahweh had said to him. But because he saw a physical man and he said, hey, I'm a prophet too. I know Yahweh told you not to go back to that place and eat, but come on back with me, for I'm a prophet too. What's the difference? We get in this book, somebody else said, well, hey man, I'm an Israelite too. Or somebody present to us, hey man, this is one of the books of the Bible too. Read this. What's the difference? You get offered something else. I mean, another man, it says the old prophet. He was a prophet, yeah. But then you notice something. When Yahweh got ready to discipline the prophet that disobeyed him, Yahweh only dealt with the disobedient prophet. He didn't use the prophet that told a lie. He didn't do nothing to him. He's still living, going on about his business. But the one who was looking for something, he let this other prophet tell him something other than what Yahweh told him. Yahweh took care of that business. Go ahead.
And I'll stretch out my hand upon him, and will destroy him from the midst of my people Israel. Verse 10. And they shall bear the punishment of their lawlessness. The punishment of the prophet shall be even as the punishment of him that seeks unto him.
The punishment of the prophet shall be even as the punishment of he that seeks unto him. If the blind lead the blind, they both gonna fall into a ditch. You don't get some kind of leeway because you was following somebody. If you on the road and it's a caravan and the person in the front step on the gas and run through the yellow light, and then you said, well, I'm following them, so I'm going to slam on the gas and I'm going to go through the yellow light, but it's red by the time you get to it. And then you have an accident and the police pull you over and you said, but I was following him. You think he take the ticket and ball it up and throw it away? Because you was following somebody else? Right. Read, man.
That the house of Israel may go no more astray from me, neither be polluted any more with all their transgressions, but that they may be my people, and I may be their Elohim, says the Adonai Yah. The word of Yahweh came again to me, saying, Son of man, when the land sins against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, says the Adonai Yah.
Right. And you have to wonder, when you talk about these men have a testimony here on earth. He said, though these three men were in it, Noah, Daniel, and Job, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness. Their righteousness won't deliver nothing but them, because I'm bringing forth judgment to this land and ain't nobody gonna stop it. But we can go and find the testimony of what these men did in the earth. How they magnified Yahweh's name in the earth. I wonder why, he didn't say nothing about Enoch or somebody right there. He said if these three men. So these three men here stick out. He got a testimony concerning them, and we can go back to this testimony. Why he didn't say if Enoch? Why wasn't he in this group? Go ahead.
I mean, when you think about it, he could have put Enoch and Elijah, who were, as we would look at it, better men than these men.
Hey, they were called into heaven, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that clearly there was other individuals that he could have put in this thing. And it's amazing as we go from prophet to prophet, you're gonna find that we can go in one prophet and read something, and then we go in another prophet and we can see that Yahweh has also given it to that prophet. When we find some of the things that people say the book of Enoch has, we can't find nobody else that said that. Nobody else offered no calendar. Nobody else. And if this calendar was there, that early, surely Moshe should have known about it, because this happened way before Moshe. So why did Moshe give us something different? Why he didn't tell us about the 8th day that's really day 0? Because that surely would have been on the earth for quite some time before Moshe came on the scene. But Moshe is talking as if he's never heard of this calendar of Enoch. He's telling us 7 Sabbaths going to equal 49 days. I asked the people who follow the luminaries, show me 7 Sabbaths on your calendar and show me 49 days. Man, you got to pull out a Texas Instrument to try to figure out that equation. Wow, Moshe had a real simple equation. He said 7 times 7, 49. The same thing my math teacher told me. She said 7 times 7, 49. See? If I tell my math teacher, say, all right, so question number 2, 7 times 7, 49. Give me that. Well, no, actually it's 46 plus 0 divided by the quotient of the remainder of Enoch's days. Fail. I'm repeating that, class. Because something wrong with that math. That math don't work nowhere but that one place. Anytime you got math that don't work nowhere but one place, you got some problems. Math ain't supposed to just work in one place. That's one thing about a math equation. You can do the math equation and then back away, do another equation and get the question. So if the math only work when you dealing with that, when they give you a special equation to add up your pay, that's when you know. That's when you know you getting gypped. When this equation don't follow nowhere, I got to do what? Oh, no, you getting paid wrong. Okay? Know that. Go ahead, brother.
Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse 15. If I cause noisome beasts to pass through the land, and they spoil it, so that it be desolate, that no man may pass through because of the beast, though these 3 men were in it, as I live, says the Adonai Yah, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters. They only shall be delivered, but the land shall be desolate.
Here we go again. These same 3 men, and they're not going to deliver even their children. They can only deliver themselves. Go ahead.
Or if I bring a sword upon the land, and say, sword, go through the land, so that I cut off man and beast from it. Though these 3 men were in it, as I live, says the Adonai Yah, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters, but they only shall be delivered themselves. Or if I send a pestilence in that land, and pour out my fury upon it in blood, to cut off from it man and beast, though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, says the Adonai Yah, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter. They shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness.
And you have to look at the specific things that were done dealing with these 3 men. When you deal with the testimony of Noah, he's talking about cutting off everybody but his family. So when you're talking about set aside, you're talking about some serious setting aside right here. Because he's like, this is basically what he said he was going to do with Moshe. And Moshe said, please don't. He said, I'll kill all of them and make a family out of you. That's exactly what he did with Noah. You know what? I'm killing everything. I'm going to build the earth again through you. So this is pretty much because I know somebody would say, well, why wouldn't he say Moses? See, I think Moses is better than Noah. Hold what you got. He began again with Noah. He was going to begin again with Moshe, and Moshe begged him not to. Go ahead.
For thus says the Adonai Yah, how much more when I send my 4 sore judgments upon Jerusalem, the sword, and the famine, and the noisome beast, and the pestilence, to cut off from it man and beast. Yet behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. Behold, they shall come forth unto you, and you shall see their way and their doings, and you shall be comforted concerning the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem, even concerning all that I have brought upon it. And they shall comfort you when you see their ways and their doings, and you shall know that I have not done without cause all that I have done in it, says the Adonai Yah.
Right. Even being a great Elohim that Yahweh is, he still has to prove to children of Israel the fact that he would even move himself to even do it is a great statement of his power. But he still has to prove to the children of Israel that he has not unrighteously done the things that he has done. He has to prove to Israel that this is what's in your heart. He has to prove, and here's the thing, this is of his own doing. Because at the end of the day, Yahweh doesn't have to answer to anybody. Yet he goes out of his way to prove to the children of Israel, this is why this is happening unto you. This is why you have to deal with this, and that. Because this is the thing that you have left off in your heart. And this is the thing that I am dealing with. He don't have to tell you that. Same way a CEO of a company ain't got to tell you why he wants you to start wearing the blue shirt instead of the red shirt. But I've been wearing this red shirt for years. Congratulations. But tomorrow you're going to wear the blue one or you're going to be in the unemployment line. So what you want to do? You have that in extra large. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Good answer. Good answer. Go ahead, bro.
I was going to say, you know, even as we read this and he keeps talking about Noah and his sons and his daughters, we realize that when he killed everything off, he saved Noah's 3 sons.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to now think of what does that say for them and where they stood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we see with Dawid, he cut Dawid's sons off. So he could have just killed them 3 boys off too and start completely over with Noah and some new kids.
He said, he shall not even save his sons. So there was some righteousness
In them boys.
even in them boys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they didn't have the level of righteousness that their father had, but there was some righteousness in those boys for him to begin again with them.
Mm-hmm.
See, people can't just do whatever they want and then say, I'm saved through him. Good luck with that. Good luck. You get to that point of judgment and Yahweh start asking you questions. Say, yeah, I know Kish. I'm sorry, what? You know Kish, the guy he read Esaac. Yeah, we hang out. We shoot pool and eat patties. Good luck on that one, brother. 1 Samuel chapter 28, and let's start that at verse 3.
Verse 3. Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had lamented him and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city.
Now, this is always a troubling time for the children of Israel, because although we may love Yahweh our Elohim, we have a tendency to place the power of Elohim onto the individual that rules at that particular time. And Samuel was that guy, okay? He was that guy. He commanded during a time, and it was very easy to place the power of Yahweh upon him. Here's the problem. When that guy passes away, everything goes haywire, because instead of dealing directly with Yahweh, they have placed all of the attributes of Yahweh into that guy. When my elder passed away, it was absolute and complete pandemonium. Why? Because all the people who had been learning about Yahweh and had been worshiping some for 30 plus years, when my elder died, they act like they didn't know who Yahweh was, because they had placed all of the attributes of Yahweh into that guy. People had made covenants and said one thing. Soon as my elder passed, those covenants, they end up remaking some of them same covenants. Like it didn't matter anymore, because that guy was gone. Yahweh don't deal with no that guys. That's something that people need to get through their head. If at any given time we don't do the things that we're supposed to do, Yahweh will shut this place down and open up a place right across the street and call it the UCI2. Mm-hmm. It'll be a brother right on the webcam. How you doing? My name is B-Sock. The hell? It'll be a dude reading named Dish. You know what I'm saying? Man, Yahweh don't play, man. You gotta find somebody else to play with, because my Elohim ain't it. Go ahead, Dish.
And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. And the Philistines gathered themselves together and came and pitched in Shunem. And Saul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa.
Now, and just on a side note, when they were reading the things talking about Dawid, and they was bringing a woman in there, and they said the Shunammite, it was a woman of Shunem. Okay, just so you won't think, this was some strange thing, because it's a lot of names that you don't hear a whole lot of. So then when you hear them, you don't really know exactly where it came from. Go ahead.
And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled.
Now, the man of Elohim is dead now, all right? So they don't have anything that they can lean on and place the power of Yahweh into physically. See, sometimes people cause idols to be within an object, and sometimes people become idols, and sometimes not even because of their own doing. My elder constantly said that he was not anything to be worshipped. Man, people do what they want to do. You can tell people all day long what they supposed to do. They'll listen to you. Your words has a lovely song. That sounds good. I ain't gonna do none of that. As soon as you leave out of here, I'm finna worship you. Yes, I am. Where you get that from? Go ahead.
And when Saul inquired of Yahweh, Yahweh answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. Then said Saul unto his servants, seek me a woman that has a familiar spirit.
All right, now this right here is one of the things that confused me for a very long time in the word. Keep reading.
That I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servant said to him, behold, there is a woman that has a familiar spirit at Endor. And Saul disguised himself and put on other raiment. And he went, and 2 men with him. And they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray you, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name unto you.
Bring me him up, whom I shall name unto you. Now he's going to go to a familiar spirit to deal with this thing because Yahweh won't answer it. See, this is us. We're gonna get what we want one way or another. Yahweh won't answer me. I'm going to show him. Remember now, when Samuel was late, this is the same man that said, I forced myself to make an offering. Since you came not at the appointed time, I forced myself and I did into the line of priesthood. Right?
And the woman said unto him, behold, you know what Saul has done, how he has cut off those that have familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land.
So he cut off those that have familiar spirits, physically. Go ahead.
Wherefore then layeth you a snare for my life to cause me to die? And Saul sware to her by Yahweh, saying, as Yahweh lives, there shall no punishment happen to you for this thing.
All right, there's certain things I need you just, you just need to slow down and just ponder on for a minute. And Saul swear to her by Yahweh. So I'm gonna swear to the witch by the name of Yahweh. Okay. As Yahweh live, okay, there shall no punishment happen to you for this thing. So he's swearing to the witch in the name of Yahweh. All right, brother, go ahead, read.
Then said the woman, whom shall I bring up unto you? And he said, bring me up Samuel. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spake to Saul, saying, why have you deceived me? For you are Saul. And the king said unto her, be not afraid, for what saith you? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. And he said unto her, what form is he of? And she said, an old man comes up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel.
And Saul perceived that it was Samuel. And this right here was confusing unto me. How does a witch get to do this right here? Go ahead.
And he stooped with his face to the ground and bowed himself. And Samuel said to Saul, why have you disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and Elohim is departed from me, and answers me no more, neither by prophets, nor by dreams. Therefore I have called you, that you may make known unto me what I shall do.
Right, because he got a reason for everything. Now, because Yahweh answer me no more. This is why I needed to disquiet you. Go ahead.
Then said Samuel, wherefore then does you ask of me, seeing Yahweh is departed from you, and is become your enemy? And Yahweh has done to him as he spake by me. For Yahweh has rent the kingdom out of your hand, and given it to your neighbor, even to David, because you obeyed not the voice of Yahweh, nor executed his fierce wrath upon Amalek. Therefore,
Well, no matter what happens, if you don't follow the things that Yahweh has decreed, he will take all of those things that he have given unto you and give it unto your neighbor. And he'll go get somebody and sit them right next to you and give them all the stuff that he gave to you. He said, you see this, all this stuff right here, this is supposed to be yours. But because you had a hard time following instructions, here. Go ahead.
therefore has Yahweh done this thing unto you this day. Moreover, Yahweh will also deliver Israel with you into the hand of the Philistines. And tomorrow shall you and your sons be with me. Yahweh also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hand of the Philistines.
Right. Now, Samuel dead now. So now you're saying Samuel has been raised up by the witch, and Samuel is telling him that his sons and him that he about to die tomorrow. He about to go away from him. Go ahead.
Then Saul fell straightway all along on the earth, and was sore afraid because of the words of Samuel.
Now he was already scared before this. So you go and get a witch so you can be even more afraid than you was when you went to get the witch. So how did going to get the witch help you? Go ahead.
And there was no strength in him, for he had eaten no bread all the day or all the night. And the woman came unto Saul, and saw that he was sore troubled, and said unto him, Behold, your handmaid has obeyed your voice, and I have put my life in my hand, and have hearkened unto your words which you spake unto me.
Right, because she can get killed for even doing this divination. Go ahead.
Now therefore, I pray you, hearken you also unto the voice of your handmaid, and let me set a morsel of bread before you, and eat, that you may have strength when you goeth on your way. But he refused, and said, I will not eat. But his servants, together with the woman, compelled him, and he hearkened unto their voice. So he arose from the earth, and sat upon the bed.
Now, there was already one thing that he has gone to entreat this woman to do this thing. But then this is where it even gets even more interesting, but on a lighter note, because you don't necessarily, it doesn't highlight that part, but you need to make sure of that you understand this last portion. Go ahead.
And the woman had a fat calf in the house, and she hasted and killed it, and took flour, and kneaded it, and did bake unleavened bread thereof.
Did bake unleavened bread. This is a witch. So for all practical purposes, he is now finna eat an offering at the witch's hand. Go ahead.
And she brought it before Saul, and before his servants, and they did eat. Then they rose up, and went away that night.
Right. So going through all of this, which was all, a big question, how does a familiar spirit make all of this happen? The very same thing that Ezekiel said. When somebody comes to me with an idol in their heart and they approach, I will answer myself. You know how long that confused me? Y'all was no, more the way I got this. He showed up, done went and got the witch. So that witch was still in his heart, even though physically he told all the witches to leave as soon as something didn't go right. He went and sought out a witch. Soon as something didn't work or didn't go according to the prescribed plan, where they at? Right there where the witch is. Y'all were like, I got this. I got this. Yahweh not, the earth and the fullness therein belongs to him. He will use the witch broom, the witch stew. He'll use the witch pot. Y'all had come out the witch pot. Boo, brother, boo. It don't matter. All this my stuff. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 14. Think Yahweh won't use a witch? He used the heathen to come in and discipline us, didn't he? He said, my people Israel have been disobedient. Nebuchadnezzar, my servant, going over there and deal with it. How you get to be your servant? He don't follow nothing. Well, he must serve him when he beating you. Because I want you to get a whooping. Now, after the whooping is over, he's no longer my servant because I only got him for that particular job. So he's like an independent contractor. 1 Kings chapter 14, and let's read verses 1 through 18.
At that time, Abiah, the son of Jeroboam, fell sick. And Jeroboam said to his wife, Arise, I pray you, and disguise yourself.
See, this one thing that you find out about whenever you getting to do something that ain't quite right. It's a whole lot of disguising going on. See? Why you have to do things in disguise? Something must not be right. Go ahead.
That you be not known to be the wife of Jeroboam, and get you to Shiloh. Behold, there's Ahiah the prophet, which told me that I should be king over this people.
Now, you know, they must have, missed that one because they spelled that one right there like you Jamaicans do, ja. You see that? You see that right there? That's Ahijah. You know, they didn't do that one like they normally do the other one. They just do IAH. They left that J right there. I just want to point that out to you, Island brother. Keep going, man.
And take with you 10 loaves and cracknels and a cruse of honey, and go to him. He shall tell you what shall become of the child. And Jeroboam's wife did so, and arose and went to Shiloh, and came to the house of Ahiah. But Ahiah could not see, for his eyes were set by reason of his age.
So his eyes were set by reason of age, so he could not see. So it looked like this disguise thing is definitely gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, come on, man. You know, you disguise and he blind. You know what I'm saying? We got this. We got this. Go ahead, bro.
And Yahweh said unto Ahiah, Behold, the wife of Jeroboam comes to ask a thing of you for her son.
Ah, man, we forgot to account for Yahweh. We've been planning evil all night. We're going to do this.
Look, I want you to put on this blue and this red. He blind. He can't see these colors here. Okay.
I mean, the plan is in effect. The only thing the plan does not account for is Yahweh. It is what every plan does not account for. Yahweh. Because you never know what he going to do. I don't care how much you plan or how many times you lie and how straight-faced you are able to lie. It means absolutely nothing. Because the one part you cannot account for in your plan is Yahweh. Because don't nobody know when he's showing up. And don't nobody know what he's showing up with. So your plan's going to always be lacking that portion. Go ahead.
For he is sick. Thus and thus shall you say unto her, for it shall be, when she comes in, that she shall feign herself to be another woman.
I mean, Yahweh done gave him all the tea. He can't see it all. Look, she gonna come in here. She gonna act like she's somebody else. Oh, he getting all the goods. Go ahead.
And it was so, when Ahiah heard the sound of her feet, as she came in at the door, that he said, Come in, you wife of Jeroboam.
He just heard the feet.
No, you walk like the wife of Jeroboam.
Oh my goodness. How the wife of Jeroboam walk? Oh my goodness. He heard my feet. Right. He already knew you were coming. Go ahead.
Why feigneth you yourself to be another?
And then how you gonna know that by the feet? No, Yahweh he has taken care of his business. Go ahead.
For I am sent to you with heavy tidings. Go tell Jeroboam, thus says Yahweh Elohim of Israel.
You know the one who sent you here in deceitfulness? I got a message for you to send to him. See, Yahweh gonna make sure that his servants on top of what's going on, no matter what everybody else doing. Even when it's a problem, Yahweh will give you that problem. Now you gonna deal with this. Go ahead.
Hey, you know, she should be shocked because she ain't tell him nothing yet. He's already giving you answers, told you who you are and everything.
All she did was walk. All he had to hear was the sound of her feet. Maybe she had on some heels or something. You know what I'm saying? They was clickety-clackety. That's all he heard. And he is taking care of this whole business. Go ahead.
Go, tell Jeroboam, thus says Yahweh Elohim of Israel, for as much as I exalted you from among the people, and made you prince over my people Israel, and rent the kingdom away from the house of Dawid, and gave it you, and yet you have not been as my servant Dawid, who kept my commandments, and who followed me with all his heart, to do that only which was right in mine eyes. but hath done evil above all that were before you. For you have gone and made you other gods and molten images to provoke me to anger, and has cast me behind your back.
Right. So then when we add other gods or we add other things in this system, now we cause a serious situation between us and Yahweh. See, we'll still serve Yahweh, but we still got the other God off in our crowd. Yahweh said, oh no, we got some problems here. Remember now the word says Yahweh our Elohim is a very jealous Elohim. Once we put other idols, anything that we make an idol, in the midst of him, we got a problem brewing. Go ahead.
Therefore, behold, I'll bring evil upon the house of Jeroboam, and will cut off from Jeroboam him that pissed against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will take away the remnant of the house of Jeroboam, as a man takes away dung, till it be all gone. Him that dies of Jeroboam in the city shall the dogs eat, and him that dies in the field shall the fowls of the air eat, for Yahweh has spoken it. Arise you therefore, get you to your own house, and when your feet enter into the city, the child shall die.
Them same feet I heard that walked in here, when them same feet step off at your place, this business is going to happen. Go ahead.
How long do you delay going back in the city?
Boy, there's some deep stuff right here. And the blind one is talking, like you said, the whole time. I mean, did she say anything in here?
Nope.
All she had to do was agree to do the evil that her husband sent her to do. That's all she had to do. She ain't got to do nothing else. She did it by showing up. Go ahead.
And all Israel shall mourn for him and bury him. For he only of Jeroboam shall come to the grave, because in him there is found some good thing toward Yahweh Elohim of Israel in the house of Jeroboam.
Wait a minute. And all Israel shall mourn for him and bury him. For he only of Jeroboam shall come to the grave. The rest of them going to die. They ain't going to even get put in the ground. Okay? Then he said, because in him there is found some good thing. That deep, folks. Go ahead.
Moreover, Yahweh shall raise him up a king over Israel, who shall cut off the house of Jeroboam that day. But what? Even now. For Yahweh shall smite Israel as a reed is shaken in the water, and he shall root up Israel out of this good land, which he gave to their fathers, and shall scatter them beyond the river, because they have made their groves,
They Christmas trees.
provoking Yahweh to anger.
Right. Those groves, those evergreen trees. That you can still go into Sunday churches and find them decorating their tree right around their so-called Christmas time. And they know it's an idol. Go ahead.
And he shall give Israel up because of the sins of Jeroboam, who did sin, and who made Israel to sin.
Right. When they sin as a leader and normalize those things, then the children of Israel follow suit. Go ahead.
And Jeroboam's wife arose and departed and came to Tirzah. And when she came to the threshold of the door, the child died.
The threshold of the door. Go ahead.
And they buried him, and all Israel mourned for him, according to the word of Yahweh, which he spake by the hand of his servant Ahiah the prophet.
Right. And that's one thing about being a prophet of Yahweh. It is not this nice little cushy job where you get to speak niceties to everybody who enters the room. See, this is what being a Sunday morning prophet is about. Oh, you get to tell people you going to own a business. You going to do this. You are more than conquerors. God has blessed you. Oh, you get to say all this nice stuff when you a servant or a prophet of the devil. Because that's who they prophets for on Sunday morning. When you a prophet of Yahweh, you got to say some stuff that's not going to be so nice. Hey, by the time your foot touch that threshold when you get back home, that child going to die. But you see how folks want to worship their idol, but then when they're in trouble, they won't come to Yahweh? Wait a minute. Then you give all your chief offerings to that idol? Then you give all your chief time to that idol that you had stuck off in your heart. So now you sick and something wrong in your house. Why are you coming to talk to me? Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 2. See, Yahweh will just sit on some things for an enormous amount of time until it comes time for him to go ahead and implement something. He'll sit there and watch the children of Israel do something and send them a prophet. Ask them not to do that. 5 years later, ask them not to do that again. But each time that time started getting short, 2 years later, tell them I said, don't do that no more. Then it's tell them I'm finna kill them by Thursday. Now here, oh, Yahweh, who knows? Oh, wait a minute, man. You done had about 7-8 years to go away from this. I sent you warning after warning after warning. Now you see that army on top of the hill? They finna come down here and take care of this business. Oh, now here we go. Oh, now we crying all over the covenant.
Oh, you said you was gonna love her. You said this land was gonna be ours. Oh, we love you, Yahweh.
When you start loving me?
When we saw that army on top of that hill.
Right. Jeremiah chapter 2 started at verse 1.
Moreover, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus says Yahweh, I remember you, the kindness of your youth, the love of your espousal, when you went after me in the wilderness, in a land that was not sown. Israel was holiness unto Yah, and their first fruits of his increase. All that devour him shall offend. Evil shall come upon them, says Yahweh. Hear you the word of Yahweh, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel. Thus says Yahweh, What lawlessness have your fathers found in me, that they are gone far from me, and have walked after vanity, and are become vain?
Right. Tell me what I did. Tell me what I did wrong unto you. Tell me how I transgressed against you. We don't have an answer. Go ahead.
Neither said they, Where is Yahweh that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, that led us through the wilderness, through a land of deserts and of pits, through a land of drought and of the shadow of death, through a land that no man passed through, and where no man dwelt? And I brought you into a plentiful country, to eat the fruit thereof and the goodness thereof. But when you entered, you defiled my land, and made my heritage an abomination. The priest said not, Where is Yahweh? And they that handled the law knew me not. The pastors also transgressed against me, and the prophets prophesied by Baal, and walked after things that do not profit.
The prophets prophesied by Baal. They prophesied what the people wanted to hear. They prophesied by an idol. Go ahead.
Wherefore, I will yet plead with you, says Yahweh, and with your children's children will I plead. For pass over the isles of Shittim, and see, and send on to Kedar, and consider diligently, and see if there be such a thing. Has a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? But my people have changed their glory for that which does not profit.
Right. You'll find out that the nations don't change their gods. So it is extremely foul that Israel will turn around and change their gods into the gods of the other nations. You go to each one of these countries, and whatever that is they worship, you go back in their history and you find out that is specifically tied to the God that they worshiped before. But then here we go. We see the other nations and what it is they're dealing with, and we add and bring their gods into our system. We do it just like the heathen. Because the heathen gonna keep their God and add another God to it. Because it's cool for them to worship many gods. This is what they do. Yahweh said it was not given unto you. Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 12. Be astonished, O you heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be you very desolate, says Yahweh. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? The young lions roared upon him and yelled, and they made his land waste. His cities are burnt without inhabitant. Also the children of Naph and Taphanes have broken the crown of your head. Have you not procured this unto yourself, in that you have forsaken Yahweh your Elohim when he led you by the way?
Right. You brought this upon yourself by how you dealt with some things. But Yahweh is the one that provides for you. So what did the idol actually do for you? Go ahead.
And now, what have you to do in the way of Egypt, to drink the waters of Sihor? Or what have you to do in the way of Assyria, to drink the waters of the river? Your own wickedness shall correct you, and your backslidings shall reprove you. Know therefore and see that it is an evil thing and bitter, that you have forsaken Yahweh your Elohim, and that my fear is not in you, says the Adonai Yah of hosts.
Right. This is why Yahweh brought certain things upon us. Yahweh said, I'm married unto Israel. Right? Then he says, you know what? Because y'all do this thing in your land, I'm going to let your wives commit adultery, and I ain't going to punish them when they do it. Because this is how you worship and serve me. So I'm going to show you what it feel like. That one that's supposed to worship and serve you, I'm going to let them worship and serve somebody else. So that you understand how foul what it is you do to Yahweh. Go ahead.
For of old time I have broken your yoke and burst your bands. And you said, I will not transgress, when upon every high hill and under every green tree you wandered, playing the harlot.
Playing the harlot. Because at this point now, you serving another God. Spiritual adultery. Go ahead.
Yet I had planted you a noble vine, holy, a right seed. How then are you turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? For though you wash you with niter, and take you much soap, yet your lawlessness is marked before me, says the Adonai Yah. How can you say, I am not polluted? I have not gone after Baalim.
This is the self-denial that we don't want to deal with the things that are stuck off in our heart. I haven't done anything. And Israel can look at you with a face straight as that wall and lie like a Persian rug. It don't mean nothing to Yahweh. You can say it 1,000 times over. It ain't going to mean nothing to him. He ain't never going to be persuaded by the lie. Because he know exactly what's in there. Go ahead.
See your way in the valley. Know what you have done. You are a swift dromedary traversing her ways. A wild ass used to the wilderness that snuffed up the wind at her pleasure. In her occasion, who can turn her away? All they that seek her will not weary themselves. In her month they shall find her. Withhold your foot from being unshod, and your throat from thirst. But you said, there is no hope. No, for I have loved strangers, and after them will I go. As the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. They, their kings, their princes, and their priests, and their prophets, saying to a stock, you are my father, and to a stone, you have brought me forth.
Right. We have the two biggest religions that have devoured our people on the earth. That stock is the wood of that cross in Christianity, and that stone, the holiest site in Islam, is a rock. You have those two that have devoured our people. And quite frankly, we were slaves to both of them. We were slaves under the Christian leadership, and we were slaves under the Muslim leadership. And those are the things that we seek for the deepest. And our people will fight you about some stuff that they don't even understand. The ones that fight you the most are the ones who have the least amount of understanding.
I just know that Jesus is the reason for the season. I don't know all this stuff you talking about. I don't know. I know Jesus is the reason.
Right. They didn't even make any of those decisions to worship that way. Those were decisions that were made by the slave masters that owned us. And those people will fight you the most, the ones who have the least amount of understanding about what it is they're doing. But what we do is let them people put us on heels, asking us questions. What it is, why you do this, why you do that. ask them a simple question. Okay, you a Baptist? Explain to me the difference between Baptist and Pentecostal. Now, you done asked me 20 questions and you can't even answer one question about what it is you do. Because they didn't make that decision. But as long as they can put you on heels, then you the one running all over the book. You learn when you watch a game of tennis and you can tell who's gonna lose. That's the one who keep running for the ball. Cause sooner or later, they gonna get tired. So that one who just standing in one place, oh, they getting rearrested. While the other one, they were like, oh man, he gonna pass out of here in a minute. Why you gonna let somebody run you all over the book? You got, in a sense, it's time for you to start being on the offensive. You need to run for this ball, son. Because I'm going to pass out if I keep running all over him. Your turn to run. My serve. That's why they changed serve. See, that is supposed to make the game even. But if you doing all the serving, you letting them do all the serving, you bound to lose. You got to take the ball. You can't ask for it. All right, my serve. Yeah. Let's see how this thing gonna work now. My turn. You run around for a little bit. Let's see how you like it. You find on some you ain't got to serve but one, the game over. Once they see that ball fly by one time, pop.
You know what? I forfeit.
Wait a minute, it was a good game when you was serving. I served one time and you forfeit? Right. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 27. Saying to a stock, you are my father, and to a stone, you have brought me forth. For they have turned their back onto me, and not their face. But in the time of their trouble, they will say, arise and save us.
In the time of their trouble, now they done turn their back unto Yahweh. See, because we done allow other idols to come into his place, knowing that he's a jealous Elohim. But when something happened, here we go. Go ahead.
But where are your gods that you have made you? Let them arise, if they can save you in the time of your trouble.
Let me tell you something. Yahweh don't play. Yahweh turn around. Hey, man, where your gods at? Oh, Yahweh will mock idol worshipers. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You, I heard you call me. But where you God? I thought you was worshiping, what's your name over there? Well, what's your name at? When your car stop, when you can't pay your bill, here we go. Oh, Yahweh, wait a minute. Well, what's your name at? Where you at? Oh, you remember my number when things went wrong? Well, what's your name? Yahweh don't play. Go ahead.
We the same way in a natural relationship. Somebody up and leave that relationship. So where old boy at? Where old girl at that was helping you?
Hey,
why are you calling me?
Exactly. Hey, we learn by the things we get off in this book. So it's certain things people ought to be ready for. If you read the things in this book, we see how Yahweh deal with a situation. That's exactly how we supposed to deal with it. And then when you're dealing with people outside this culture or people who supposed to be in the culture but they don't read the book, they be like, why you tripping? Why you acting like this?
Page 774. Let me read it to you.
Go ahead, bro.
For according to the number of your cities are your gods, O Yehuda. Wherefore will you plead with me? You all have transgressed against me, says Yahweh. In vain have I smitten your children. They receive no correction. Your own sword hath devoured your prophets like a destroying lion.
Your own sword has devoured your prophets. Right, because they didn't say the things that you wanted to hear. And we just slay people with words now. But what happened is they don't say the things that we want to hear. All of a sudden, they ain't blessed no more. They are serving the Yahweh as long as they say the stuff that we want to hear. Go ahead.
O generation, see you the word of Yahweh. Have I been a wilderness unto Israel, a land of darkness? Wherefore say my people, we are masters, we will come no more unto you. Can a maid forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number. Why trimmeth you your way to seek love? Therefore have you also taught the wicked ones your ways. Also in your skirts is found the blood of the souls of the poor innocents. I have not found it by secret search, but upon all these. Yet you say, because I am innocent.
Now this is Israel right here. Check this out. Yet you say, because I am innocent. Declaring I innocent. I ain't did nothing. Go ahead.
Surely his anger shall turn from me. Behold, I will plead with you, because you says, I have not sinned.
I'm going to plead with you because you don't think you guilty. So now, instead of a quick conversation, this finna drag out. Because you say, I'm innocent. You say, this is not what it is. Y'all be like, how is it not going to be what it is? I'm watching this idol stuck off in your heart. How you going to tell me it's something else? But I'm going to plead with you because you say, I am innocent. So now, before we even get to the dealing with of the situation, now we got to stretch this thing out just so I can prove to you that it is what it is. And it is an absolutely powerful and humbling thing that the Elohim of all the earth would even do that. He ain't got to do that. He don't have to prove nothing to you. He does that because he wants to. So that his righteousness will be shown. He ain't got to. He can just say, this is what it is. Go ahead.
Why gaddeth you about so much to change your way? You also shall be ashamed of Egypt, as you was ashamed of Assyria. Yea, you shall go forth from him, and your hands upon your head. For Yahweh has rejected your confidence, and you shall not prosper in them.
All right, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 33. Ezekiel 33, and let's read verses 23 through 33.
Verse 23. Then the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, they that inhabit those wastes of the land of Israel speak, saying, Abraham was one, and he inherited the land, but we are many. The land is given us for inheritance. Wherefore say unto them, Thus says the Adonai Yah.
Right. We think we gonna get it because we got a multitude of people. Abraham was just one. All right. Look at all this we got here. So this is how people get fooled about their numbers and thinking that means something to Yahweh. Go ahead.
You eat with the blood, and lift up your eyes towards your idols, and shed blood. And shall you possess the land?
Shall you possess the land? You eat with the blood. You know when they stick something in the oven or on the frying pan and just fry the top of it, it be brown on the top. That's that stuff they show you on the commercial.
Thick, juicy steaks.
And you cut into it and all that blood run out of it. Hey man, you didn't cook this at all. You just browned the top. This thing liable to get off my plate and walk down the hall. This thing might still be lit. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 26. You stand upon your sword, you work abomination, and you defile everyone his neighbor's wife.
Mm-hmm.
And shall you possess the land?
Against all of the things of what's written in our culture, in our book, but you gonna possess the land though you do all that. Go ahead.
Say this unto them, Thus says the Adonai Yah, As I live, surely they that are in the waste shall fall by the sword, and him that is in the open field will I give to the beast to be devoured, and they that be in the forts and in the caves shall die of the pestilence. For I will lay the land most desolate, and the pomp of her strength shall cease, and the mountains of Israel shall be desolate, that none shall pass through. Then shall they know that I am Yahweh, when I have laid the land most desolate because of all their abominations which they have committed. Also, you son of man, the children of your people still are talking against you by the walls.
Also, you son of man, the children of your people still are talking against you by the walls. This is what Israel do. Israel not going to specifically talk against Yahweh. They going to speak against the servant.
I don't, some of that stuff he be saying. I don't really be down with all that stuff he be saying now. See, yeah, I don't really. I think Yahweh might use him sometimes. I think he'll sometimes serve.
Right. They ain't speaking against Yahweh. They speaking against him because they don't like what he's saying. Go ahead.
And in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that comes forth from Yahweh.
Right. I can't wait to go listen to it. Go ahead.
And they come on to you as the people comes, and they sit before you as my people.
They sit before you as my people. Not that they are my people, but they do come sit before you as my people. Go ahead.
And they hear your words, but they will not do them.
They will not do them. That's that thing where we sit, you learn what kind of children you have. Even when you start, being a parent, when people tell me they got one kid, I'm like, no, you ain't started parenting yet. All right, that's an introductory. All right. When you get that second one, that's all you into it then. Because you're going to see the difference, but there might be one kid every time you're trying to talk to them, they're like, no, but they trying to make their point. And then you got them ones that just look at you straight.
Yes, Father. Absolutely. You are absolutely correct.
And they finna go and do the exact opposite of every damn thing they just said to you. Then you realize that one that seemed like he was a problem.
You know what? Come back here, little boy. I realized something.
There's truth in you. That's why me and you argue. See, you thought you was right, so you was trying to make your point. This child over here just a lying scoundrel. This child just looked me straight in my face and tell me whatever the hell he think I want to hear. Yep, Daddy, you right. You the man, 50 grand. Yes, you are. And already planning the deceivings before you turn around. Go ahead.
Isn't that the beginning of the book? I go, sir, and went not.
Right. The one that looks like they're the deceiver turns out sometimes is the actual opposite. Go ahead, brother.
For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goes after their covetousness. And lo, you are unto them as a very lovely song of one that has a pleasant voice.
Oh, we love a lovely song, don't we? Oh, yeah. We sing when we happy, we sing when we sad. We just sing just to sing. Go ahead.
And can play well on an instrument. For they hear your words, but they do them not.
They ain't gonna do nothing of. But they heard them though. It was people that couldn't stand Maya. And them were the first people at church. They were there before all of us. And Maya would be like, why don't y'all just stop coming?
We can't stand you, but we can't wait to hear your words. The way you speak the word of God is profound. I mean, we're not going to do it, but we love to listen to it.
Man, you taking up somebody else's seat, man. Go somewhere else. Go ahead.
And when this comes to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet has been among them.
Then will they know that a prophet has been among them. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 29. So some things have to come all the way to pass before Israel then realizes that there was a prophet among them. So how many situations and mistakes have we made? How many harsh sayings have we uttered from our lips in defiance to then realize, oh man, we had a prophet among us. It's too late. You can't take them words back now. You can't take none of that deceit back. All of them ill and hard sayings. Once Yahweh revealed unto you that you've had a prophet among you, you can't take all them words back. See, that's that thing we used to do when we would look. We say something stupid, and as a kid, you'd be like, I take that back. You realize when you get older, you can't take nothing back. Once it comes out of your mouth, the angel already wrote it down. The angel it says he had a writer's inkhorn. Ain't no eraser on ink pen. Once it came out of your mouth, it was written down. And you can't erase it by saying more stuff. He's not going to ever run out of ink.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep talking, and what it's going to happen is he's going to write over the stuff that I said before. And then what it's going to do is going to drown that out.
Now you're just going to have a longer page. He ain't never running out of ink. It says we shall give an account for even every idle word that proceed out of our mouth. Isaiah 29, let's start at verse 1.
Woe to Ariel, the city where David dwelt. Add you year to year, let them kill sacrifices. Yet I will distress Ariel, and there shall be heaviness and sorrow, and it shall be unto me as Ariel. And I'll camp against you round about, and will lay siege against you with a mount, and I will raise forts against you. And you shall be brought down, and shall speak out of the ground, and your speech shall be low out of the dust, and your voice shall be as of one that has a familiar spirit out of the ground, and your speech shall whisper out of the dust.
Right. And you look at all of these things and all of the nations that Yahweh has brought amongst the children of Israel. He brought all of those armies against us because we were not following his word. And if we understand that, we then understand that the beginning of our strength and our power is in walking in the culture that Yahweh gave unto us. But see, what we'll do is we think our strength is at the gym.
I got me a new membership, man. Yeah, I'm going to LA Fitness now. Yeah, I'm going to be swole this time next year.
Congratulations. Why don't you swell up on Yahweh's word? Because that's where the beginning of your protection is. See? We getting swole the wrong way.
I've been taking a lot of protein.
Right. I got your protein right here. Here go your protein. You looking for some muscle builder? I got it right here. Because without this, that other stuff you're doing is playing. Go ahead.
Moreover, the multitude of your strangers shall be like small dust, and the multitude of the terrible ones shall be as shaft that pass away. Yea, it shall be at an instant suddenly.
Now, I don't want nobody to say it sucks, say it don't work out. That's why I can't find my belt buckle. You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. That's not what I said. Go ahead, bro.
You shall be visited of Yahweh of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. And the multitude of all the nations that fight against Ariel, even all that fight against her and her munition, and that distress her, shall be as a dream of a night vision. It shall even be as when a hungry man dreams, and, behold, he eats, but he awakes, and his soul is empty. Or as when a thirsty man dreams, and, behold, he drinks, but he awakes, and, behold, he is faint, and his soul has appetite. So shall the multitude of all the nations be that fight against Mount Zion. Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry you out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine.
Mm-hmm.
They stagger, but not with strong drink.
Right. That's doctrine then. See? The introduction of an idol then introduces another doctrine, which then causes us to stumble and stagger at the word of Yahweh. One thing lead to another thing, lead to another thing. And one thing you find out about when you first start consuming alcoholic beverages, it take a while for it to get in your system. See? So I remember my first time drinking. I'm out with my brother and my uncle, and I'm just consuming all manner of alcoholic beverages because I can drink now, but didn't nobody really tell me how to drink. Because you didn't think, whatever it is to drink, you pop it open and you take it down the hatch. So that's all I need to know, baby. So I'm drinking whatever I can find in the cooler. I'm taking it down. They say, hey, man, you might want to slow down. For what? I don't even feel. Now I just felt it. Here's the problem. The last 5 ain't got it in my blood yet. So I'm like, okay, I'll stop now because I'm feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
But then the room kept spinning.
This is the rest of the stuff now getting into my bloodstream. I ain't drunk nothing now because I'm just now starting to feel it, but I didn't know to sip and then pause. Nobody gave me those instructions. So now all of this stuff is starting to hit me. And now I went to feeling it went from good to absolutely horrible, little by little. That's what dealing with them idols do. It hadn't started to affect you right when you start dealing with it. But as you go along, it starts to make you drunker and drunker and drunker. And you don't even realize you're staggering as long as everybody else is staggering with you. That's why we like to be around other staggers. Because, you know what I'm saying, we got that one little pivot foot where the one leg go and the other one just keep moving. But we ain't went nowhere. We done took 52 steps and we still in the same place. Well, as long as you're around other people who are staggering, then all y'all look the same kind of stupid. Until the one sober person come up, what the hell is going on here? That's when you realize, oh, you've gotten drunk by strange doctrine. Why are y'all not able to walk straight? What are y'all doing? Go ahead, bro.
It says, chapter 29 and verse 10. For Yahweh has poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and has closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, has he covered.
Right. So at some point, if you keep on dealing with something, Yahweh gives you up to that thing, and now you can't see. You go for a while refusing to see, and then he go ahead and take your sight. Check that out. You get what you asked for. You keep on dealing with it, and that's what you're going to be forced to deal with. Oh, Yahweh is poetic in his punishments. If, we have that selective amnesia where we don't remember anything that we've done, especially when it's something bad, we select to forget it. All you have to do is look at what the issues are, and you can pretty much tell what it is you've done. It's like a backwards math equation. And you can understand the poeticness of his punishment. Go ahead.
And the vision of law is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray you. And he says, I cannot, for it is sealed. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, read this, I pray you. And he says, I am not learned. Wherefore the Adonai said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men.
So then there's a blockade that's keeping us from being absolutely close to Yahweh because there's an idol stuck in there dividing our heart. Yahweh gonna give you the opportunity to move it. And then he gonna move it himself. It works out better if you move it yourself. When Yahweh renovates, he doesn't really care about the comfort of the place where the renovation is happening. Go ahead.
Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who sees us? And who knows us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? Is it not yet a very little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into a fruitful field, and the fruitful field shall be esteemed as a forest? And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. The meek also shall increase their joy in Yahweh, and the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel. For the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for lawlessness are cut off. That make a man, an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproves in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught.
That make a man or an offender for a word. We got certain words we ain't gonna even say because we done heard somebody else speak of certain words. We got certain things we won't do because we done heard somebody else say something negative about those things. So now we can't completely embrace things of Yahweh because of how other teachings have been against certain things. Go ahead.
Therefore thus says Yahweh, who redeemed Abraham concerning the house of Jacob. Jacob shall not now be ashamed, neither shall his face now wax pale. But when he sees his children, the work of mine hands, in the midst of him, they shall sanctify my name, and sanctify the Holy One of Jacob, and shall fear the Elohim of Israel. They also that erred in spirit shall come to understanding, and they that murmured shall learn doctrine.
They that murmur shall learn doctrine. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 7. Zechariah chapter 7, and we're going to read verses 1 through 14.
Verse 1. And it came to pass in the 4th year of King Darius, that the word of Yahweh came unto Zechariah in the 4th day of the 9th month, even in Kislev, when they had sent unto the house of Elohim Sherezer and Regemelech and their men to pray before Yahweh, and to speak unto the priests which were in the house of Yahweh of hosts, and to the prophets, saying, Should I weep in the 5th month, separating myself, as I've done these so many years? Then came the word of Yahweh of hosts unto me, saying, Speak unto all the people of the land, and to the priests, saying, When you fasted and mourned in the 5th and 7th month, even those 70 years, did you at all fast unto me, even to me? And when you did eat, and when you did drink, did not you eat for yourselves and drink for yourselves?
Right. See, we can give the pretense that things are for one reason, but Yahweh will not be mocked a fool. He knows the reasons things are done, not just that we've done something. See, we'll do something and say it's for this, and Yahweh say, yeah, you did it, but it was really for that. Go ahead.
Should you not hear the words which Yahweh hath cried by the former prophets, when Jerusalem was inhabited and in prosperity?
Right. Should you not have done all of the things that was set forth by the former prophets? See, Israel will turn around and make a day out of anything. Something good happened, that we reigned over some enemies. We will then turn around and orchestrate a fast for that day, or we'll orchestrate a celebration for that day. I'll give you something to celebrate. Had you not went against his word, the thing wouldn't have happened anyway that you are now celebrating when it came off you. How about celebrate the word, and you wouldn't have to celebrate the removal of some crazy army invading you? See, we do even our celebrations in the wrong way. Now we want to make a day on the day the heathen get ran out. Now we want to celebrate that day. Well, let's back up. How did the heathen get in there?
Oh, because I didn't remember the Sabbath to keep it holy.
I'll tell you what then. How about you take all that celebration in you, and how about you put it on his Sabbath? Right. Read, man.
and the cities thereof round about her, when men inhabited the south and the plain. And the word of Yahweh came unto Zechariah, saying, Thus speak Yahweh of hosts, saying, Execute true judgment, and show mercy and compassions every man to his brother. And oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. But they refused to hearken, and pulled away the shoulder, and stopped their ears, that they should not hear. Yea, they made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law, and the words which Yahweh of hosts had sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from Yahweh of hosts.
The things that he has sent by the former prophets. I already talked to y'all concerning this. Go ahead.
Therefore it has come to pass that as he cried, and they would not hear, so they cried, and I would not hear, says Yahweh of hosts.
Hey, man. If you want to know why brothers act the way they act, all you gotta do is read the book. Yahweh like, wait a minute. I kept crying unto you, you wouldn't hear me. Then why you upset that I won't hear you? We praying and praying and praying. Yahweh like, I ain't gonna hear that prayer. I'm gonna listen to them just like they listen to me. Not at all. Go ahead, bro.
But I scattered them with a whirlwind among all the nations whom they knew not. Thus the land was desolate after them, that no man passed through nor returned, for they laid the pleasant land desolate.
Right, and there's so many prophets in here that if we just listen to their words, we find it very, very difficult to believe that the children of Israel came out of one nation of Germany, but I scattered them with a whirlwind among all the nations whom they knew not. This was a punishment unto Israel. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 11. See, part of Israel's salvation is being in the land that Yahweh has given unto Israel. With that being said, the punishment has to then be the opposite. The punishment is then being a captive in somebody else's land. So anytime you find somebody who claims to be authentic Israel, but they can't find this ruling with rigor over them in other lands, something is wrong. And other lands, plural, not one. First Kings 11, and let's start that verses 1 through 8.
But King Shlomo loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites.
All of them got their own God. See, this is when you're too smart for your own good. Go ahead.
Of the nations concerning which Yahweh said unto the children of Israel, you shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Shlomo clave unto these in love.
Yahweh not only said don't go unto them, he also told you exactly what was going to happen. That they are going to entice you to serve their gods. But see, we got great and magnificent wisdom. See that happened to lower individuals. Yahweh, I'm the wisest king ever lived. All right, we're gonna see how that work out for you. Go ahead.
And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. For it came to pass, when Shlomo was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods.
Right. So he worked. He was fine for a little while. But exactly what Yahweh said it was going to do. That's what it. See, what we do is we judge something by, them first couple of weeks. And sometimes you just got to look and wait. He said, look, this is what's going to happen if you deal with these strange women worshiping these strange gods. Because it didn't happen with one, didn't happen with two, didn't happen with 3, 4, kept on going. Then lo and behold, it's happening back to back to back. But look how long he was successful before it started happening. But Yahweh said exactly what was going to happen. Go ahead.
And his heart was not perfect with Yahweh his Elohim, as was the heart of Dawid his father. For Shlomo went after Ashtaroth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites.
And when you talk about Ashtaroth, you talk about the goddess of fertility, then you talk about your Easter egg hunts that we ourselves participated in before we knew anything of that. So the very things that got Shlomo, I want people to think about this. Some of the very things that got him cut off. Do we understand that we just stopped doing that? Because we like to look down on Shlomo. Look at him. He just, can't believe him. He was just worshiping Ashtaroth a couple of years ago. See, there go that selective amnesia again. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Right. Go ahead.
And Shlomo did evil in the sight of Yahweh, and went not fully after Yahweh, as did Dawid his father. Then did Shlomo build an high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrificed unto their gods.
So now he's taken all the money of Yahweh and have built houses for strange gods. Oh, Yahweh's hot. But Yahweh waited. He already knew what that was going to develop into. And he said what it was going to do. But Yahweh in the Yahweh shows you how to deal with power majestically. He could have just with his power just snatched Shlomo up and just really did something to him. But what he did was exercise patience so he can prove to him why he was cutting him off. From the beginning of dealing with the strange woman who and I'm talking strange woman number one. Yahweh already know what it's going to end up being. But I'm going to step back so that I can prove to him why I got to do this to him. Because we all think we can stop on our own. We all try to tell ourselves, it's not a problem. That's what the drunk dude said behind the building. I ain't got no drinking problem. I drink when I want to. I just want to all the time. Right. This your choice. Yeah, I choose to drink just and pee myself. Right. Hell of a choice you made there. Hell of a choice. Go ahead, man.
Continue or jump to verse 29.
Jump to verse 29.
And it came to pass at that time when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem that the prophet Ahiah, the Shilonite, found him in the way. And he had clad himself with a new garment, and they two were alone in the field. And Ahiah caught the new garment that was on him and rent it in 12 pieces. And he said to Jeroboam, take you 10 pieces, for thus says Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel.
Now you have to pay attention to what was happening. Ahiah caught the new garment that was upon him, and he rent it in 12 pieces. All right, go ahead.
Behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Shlomo, and will give 10 tribes to you.
I'll give you 10. All right, but he rented into 12. Go ahead.
But he shall have 1 tribe for my servant Dawid's sake.
Wait a minute, these numbers is different. Now he said that I rented into 12. All right, now I'm giving you 10. Now I didn't take that calculus, but I'm saying 10 minus 12 gives me 2 left over. He just said 10, and then I'm going to give him 1. Go ahead.
But he shall have 1 tribe for my servant Dawid's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, the city which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel.
So from the beginning, you got the tribe of Levi already spread out. Ain't nothing decreed about where they going to be. Because once Yahweh is taken out of the picture, that is their inheritance. So Levi just became a bunch of vagabonds at the point that there is no Yahweh. Their whole life, because understand, serving Yahweh is their whole life. The tribe of Levi. Without Yahweh, they don't even know what to do. Understand, the rest of the people have other jobs and other things that they do. Then they serve Yahweh. The Levites, serving Yahweh is what they do. All the time. Everything. You have to consider. You ever look back at your life and say, nothing in my life made sense until I got in this word. The Levites have nothing without Yahweh. That is their everything. Go ahead.
Because that they have forsaken me, and have worshipped Ashtaroth, the goddess of the Zidonians, Chemosh, the god of the Moabites, and Milcom, the god of the children of Ammon, and have not walked in my ways, to do that which is right in mine eyes, and to keep my statutes and my judgments, as David his father. Howbeit, I will not take the whole kingdom out of his hand, but I'll make him prince all the days of his life for David my servant's sake, whom I chose, because he kept my commandments and my statutes.
Howbeit, I will not take the whole kingdom out of his hand, but I will make him a prince all the days of his life for David my servant's sake. He's not even getting this because of his own doings, because you are now laying in the lineage of a promise that I made to somebody else. I am upholding you not because of you, because you have fell into the line of a covenant or promise that I made with your daddy. This ain't about you. Go ahead.
But I'll take the kingdom out of his son's hand, and will give it unto you, even 10 tribes. And unto his son will I give one tribe, that David my servant may have a light always before me in Jerusalem, the city which I have chosen me to put my name there. And I will take you, and you shall reign according to all that your soul desires, and shall be king over Israel. And it shall be, if you will hearken unto all that I command you, and will walk in my ways, and do that is right in my sight, to keep my statutes and my commandments, as David my servant did, that I will be with you, and build you a sure house, as I built for David, and will give Israel unto you. And I will for this afflict the seed of David, but not forever. Shlomo sought therefore to kill Jeroboam, and Jeroboam arose and fled into Egypt, unto Shishak king of Egypt, and was in Egypt until the death of Shlomo.
Now, this also gives you a clue in how Israel deals with things. All right, Shlomo sit here, married 1,000 people, built temples for every last one of the strange women. Yahweh then comes and divides the children of Israel, and he's going to give it to his servant. What we do?
I'm going to kill him.
Oh, you think he's the problem? Watch Israel at work. This is us. Our indignation now becomes at the person that Yahweh gonna give the stuff to. Now he want to kill him. What? How about you go through and start slaying some of them 1,000 you got over there? That's where your problem came from. Now you want to kill him? But that's us. Finish that up, bro.
And the rest of the acts of Shlomo, and all that he did, and his wisdom, are they not written in the book of the acts of Shlomo? And the time that Shlomo reigned in Jerusalem over all Israel was 40 years. And Shlomo slept with his fathers, and was buried in the city of David his father. And Rehoboam his son reigned in his stead.
Right. So now you have these children that are now inheriting from the deeds of their fathers. But let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 37. So you looking at the division of the children of Israel right here because of the deeds of Shlomo. As Shlomo does these things, understand the children of Israel start doing them as well. They start walking in the same things. They see Shlomo. What do you think if you build a house for a pagan god. Don't you think Israel gonna be? Every time we see a new building, we one of them people, you know, we just like to go in there. Yeah, I just wanted to see what's in here. Oh, this is nice here. Look at that, they put all that up there. Like that, if it shine right down on it, yeah. Wow. Is that key motion? Is that key motion? Right. We go just to check it out. We don't worship another god on accident. Check that out. That ain't what we came. We just came to look at the building. This is nice here. This is nice. Right. Because understand now, the new house is always going to be the nicest one. That's that new construction. So now you got Yahweh house over here. Now it's big and magnificent. But then right here new. Y'all know we like new. We like new. Ezekiel chapter 37. Let's start at verse 15.
The word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Moreover, you son of man, take you one stick and write upon it for Yehuda and for the children of Israel his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Yosef, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel his companions.
Right. The very thing that Yahweh did in dividing the children of Israel, the very one that divided it is going to be the one to put it back together. But yet every time you turn around, you got some Israelites talking about how we all need to come together. And clearly, they have not read this book. How you going to put together what Yahweh divided? Yahweh is the one that divided, and he the one that's going to put it together. Go ahead.
And join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in your hand. And when the children of your people shall speak unto you, saying, Will you not show us what you meaneth by these? Say unto them, Thus says the Adonai Yah, Behold, I will take the stick of Yosef, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Yehuda, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. And the sticks whereon you writeth shall be in your hand before their eyes. And say unto them, Thus says the Adonai Yah, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whether they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. But I will save them out of all their dwelling places, wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I'll be their Elohim.
So we have some cleansing that has to happen with us before we can even be Yahweh's people on that level. Go ahead.
And Dawid my servant shall be king over them, and they shall have one shepherd. And they shall all have one shepherd. They shall also walk in my judgments, and observe my statutes, and do them. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt. And they shall dwell therein, even they and their children, and their children's children forever. And my servant Dawid shall be their prince forever. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them. And I will place them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore.
And that is one of the biggest things right there. I will set my sanctuary, my tabernacle shall be in the midst of them. That was the first thing, one of the very first things we talking about before Israel gets even set up in the land. Moshe had to move it. The tabernacle was amongst the children of Israel, and we kept doing things that were not right. Take that tabernacle and move it. So if you keep that tabernacle there, and they keep doing all of those things, I'm going to end up killing the whole nation off anyway. So to keep from killing Israel, I need you to move this tabernacle. Now, when all those things are set up, he's, no, I want this right among them. But it's some cleansing that has to happen before that thing can be right among us. Go ahead.
And the heathen shall know that I, Yahweh, do sanctify Israel, when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore.
All right, that is all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. We're going to do trivia today at 5:30, and that will be, of course, on our Zoom. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.